My child hears me speaking on the breezes stirring the foliage. I'm urging you to embark on a journey of faith and triumph. My hand was there to steady you from the moment you took your first steps, leading you even as storms roar through the shadowiest areas and darkest valleys. When the clouds loom over you and your vision becomes blurry, never forget that I am the constant beacon guiding you. This year is going to be full with gifts and promise only for you. Prosperity awaits, along with honors and recognition, but this route calls for more than just your footsteps. You must firmly invest your entire heart in my unwavering commitment. Do not allow doubts or emotions of unworthiness cast a cloud over your thoughts. My love removes all criticism. You have been selected to be a vessel that shines brightly for your family, abundantly bestowed with benefits to shower upon them. Freed from the bonds of defeat, you have my support to help you succeed in everything you do. Come to me every day. You feel renewed. Replace your depressing and gloomy ideas with them with fearless faith. Let my words serve as a sword and shield in your struggles. Adorn yourself with patience and humility, then observe how blessings begin to blossom in your life. Bless you, and while you celebrate your accomplishments, keep in mind that they were your redemption was sealed there on the hallowed ground of Calvary, forged with sacrifice. Now, blood shed on a brutal cross, claim the glory resulting from the ability to freely rise from the dead. I promise to be at your side as your guardian and in good times and bad. Provider, when attacked by negative forces, you are never alone since I am always by your side. Feelings when caught in the grip of defeat resist the pull toward despair. My remarks are not empty cliches, they are meant to surpass the joy and brighten your days. But in my presence, failure to uphold unwavering commitments is powerless. Transform your heart into a haven where my promises are kept in a sacred area reserved just for me. Reject all thoughts that I can't, that I lack, or that I'm not going to. Replace lies with my truth that gives you the courage to confront every challenge, knowing that I'm by your side. You should look to me as your source and follow my guidance, since I am always there for you. When you are confident, hold your head up and look down instead of down. Letting me guide you safely, I will always be your faithful and devoted buddy. I accept you without fail, just as you are, participating in your happiness and suffering. I'll be there to support you through your wins and setbacks, and to lend a hand when you need it. More intimate than a brother, therefore don't be afraid, because I'm your friend. Ignore those, follow the route I've laid out for you and your loved ones while I wait for your collapse. But primarily to repay my immense affection for you, keep in mind the difficult road I suffered, painful blows and jeers, culminating in a torturous cross, which I did voluntarily out of my love for you, cleared the path by bringing total forgiveness and healing. For your freedom and deliverance when faced with difficulties, keep in mind that I am by your side. Together, we will conquer. Pledge to tenacity, and my strength will fill you with joy, happiness, and confidence, lifting your eyes to the future and your highest hopes. Despite any worries that may be bothering you, keep in mind that they are real callings buried deep inside you, not just passing whimsies. So by me, erase any sign of skepticism from your heart, even in the face of lack, and remind injustice that this territory has already been covered in victory won. You will encounter difficulties in this life, but be encouraged, I have already triumphed over them. That pledge to kindle within you a sense of delight and hope for victory are a priceless treasure with unfathomable value, and your heart exudes natural beauty. Your sincerity reflects my character, and your soul radiates brightness. I know this truth deep within, that you were made in my likeness alone, a special aspect of my you are an infinite being that I breathe life into. Your intelligence, diligence, and courageous spirit bear witness to your divine heritage, and your earthly beginnings in me have no effect on your worth in my opinion. Neither wealth nor rank, what people say about your alleged shortcomings, doesn't lessen your worth to me because of poverty. I declare that you are my precious kid and that your imperfections do not matter. As my child, you are covered with my blessings throughout the heavens in love. This is the reason your soul's adversaries look at you so shakily. Understanding the robust protection and support I offer you when I'm here, you're lacking nothing happens to those who rejected me, thinking they were undeserving and abandoned orphans because they made that decision to abandon me and now walk aimlessly without the solace or tranquility that comes with understanding. However, I have stood firmly by your side for so long that I have begged you to have faith in my remarks ring true and have the ability to speak beyond all others. Build faith in you since it has always been reliable. I'm waiting for you to take a brave, daring step and take possession of your rightful inheritance. Your adversaries use intimidation, and previous setbacks as tools to you, but they are powerless beyond what you grant them, and they would prefer to believe and have complete faith in me, as there is nothing to lose and you were meant to be here. Failure, but I've called you to greatness. I want you to be a bright beacon of faith that people may lay hands on the oppressed and utilizing my power to fell giants. This is my plan for you. Brave, unbreakable fighter, covered in holiness and knowledge but distinguished by humbly, a real hero who embodies a strong sense of faith to overcome and declare the victory already gained for you. Accept responsibility for the intrinsic value I perceive in you, my dear. My love for you, child, is unconditional, eternal, and transcends time. Let me access your heart and hear your words of love. I long to hear you address me as your friend and father, to hear you share your sorrows and your joys, release yourself from hidden anxieties and suffering. Your soul is incredibly valuable. Measure to me, and although I want you to know how much I adore you, there are moments when I feel when you awaken with a mysterious melancholy piercing your soul. Unexpected heartache hints at you. It's important to note that silence about this brings such sorrow to your spirit. Your name softly echoes from my lips and my spirit in the calm dawn, pulling you back from frequently straying too far, even while the day calls for and entice you to ignore my call, and my spirit forewarns mourning over the separation. The anguish stretches wide, acting as a clarion cry from your bare, thirsty soul. If hollow continues, I offer the living water in an infinite supply to purify, replenish, and restore what was taken, making you feel hopeless since I know you've been apart from me for too long. Proceed through difficult times without endangering your spirit rather than coming to me for refuge, as chaos can trick even the elect into believing that, despite my best efforts to save you, my dear child, I am not a deceptive God, nor do I mislead those who have been seeking me out for eons. Gratitude and love have spilled over higher and deeper than the oceans. Heavens, allow me to surround you so that you might experience a small portion of my divine sweetness and sustenance, a deep affection that delivers the purest tears. Joy. No matter where your journey takes you, you won't fall into the pit of hopelessness. Should sorrows pour down and inquisitive spirits ask why tears stream down your cheeks, tell them about my wonderful embrace that your Father gives you all the time. His honest and kind remarks ignited a flame in your heart so strong that not even storms could put out your sorrow and problems. Have been exiled and replaced by fresh life and restorative balm. I would want to offer this assistance and salvation to everyone who seeks me really, trust what I say, and adhere tenaciously to it. Allow them to enter your spirit deeply and revitalize your soul, even though difficult times will unavoidably come. Arrival, stand firmly on my unwavering word because I have already started working. Doing miracles and wonders on your behalf. I made plans for you. Expect showers of blessings to arrive from long ago, with blueprints of success inscribed into the foundations of eternity. My pronouncements cannot be contained as the horizon's dawning glow grows brighter. Rejected or annulled, they will undoubtedly come to pass in due course. Therefore, raise your eyes to the fear and worry about the future are thrown off by the heavens, and doubts are not allowed to invade. Worry merely helps to impede your ideas or allow them to fester in your head and warp your perception of my unwavering, loving presence at your side. Instead, continually cultivate your faith so that it may grow brilliantly and peacefully amid storms and sunshine. I see clearly the designs and will be your devoted guide and refuge from misfortune. Assaults that the adversary launches, he is crafty but helpless, wanting only to oppress you and shatter your faith in my assurances. Disregard his disrespectful instead, take a brave stance, face any challenges that come along, and arm yourself with my living word. Continue to march forward with fresh vitality even as fatigue sets in. Rest assured that I accompany you, offering guidance and heavenly tactics to help you go over challenging terrain. Thus, rise above, my little child. The forces of evil are at war with you, and his poisonous words possess no power. Sliver of truth, therefore which one of the great deceiver and your Creator God should you believe? Have I not spoken worlds into the hands of those who loved you enough to breathe the gift of life into you? Life and subdued the raging waters. My power knows no bounds limits. Despite being encircled on all sides, none of them can finally bring you to your knees. If injuries prevent you from moving forward at your current speed, I alone will raise you up and heal you 1,000 times over. Use healing balm, and my hand will come to your aid the minute you falter in weakness. Hands clasp yours to support your steps and give you the bravery and audacious confidence to burst forth from the core of an unbeaten champion warrior who has endured several conflicts and came out stronger, rising higher and higher upon the mountain of blessings set aside for you, a lasting symbol of hope and promise unfolded throughout your existence, keeping my spirit alive. And how I carefully rejoice over you as the apple of my eye, burning brightly in your heart of hearts. Looking up at the entire universe, I exclaimed with excitement, "This is mine priceless gem, my sweetie, with whom I am happy to express my love in return. Declare it joyfully for everyone to hear. The days and years are over." Engulfed in sorrow, uncertainty, or resentment to follow you about and plague your path for approaching me with true trust, I initiated the unchangeable ability to change. The wonderful newness replaces the old. Stand tall, noble warrior is no longer there. The contempt others showed you without any justification was replaced with amazement and astonishment at this complete 180-degree turnabout. They are observing, and most startling of all, your loved ones are being mesmerized by my magnificence and power on full show. In a completely reborn and liberated life is to take vessels for my joy. Others have rejected them as useless because of their numerous failures, and they turn them into my most favored tools to pour forth blessings and bear witness to the hope of salvation to hordes yearning for truth. So bravely go forth, my son, and tell them your story everywhere you go. Today, God's gracious hand came down to guide your steps from the dark shadows of death onto solid ground and into the glorious light of fresh life emerging from the tempestuous tempest into a peaceful haven. The days of futilely straining in my weak strength have passed under the cover of His wings, and my joy is now strolling that God leads me down ways of righteousness at every turn, giving my bones strength. It endures immense pressures. Whenever the winds of misfortune try to diverge me from my path, God is there to stabilize my steps until I can re-establish a solid foundation, and when I'm told to soar to eagle's wings swiftly propel me to new heights as His might allows me to soar above the fierce storm clouds, gaining fresh perspective and alert clarity faster to see the traps and obstacles in my path. Genuinely experiencing the thrill of the Lord has filled my heart with an unquenchable joy that overflows into rivers of blessings to quench every desperate soul I come across is thirsty, and my stronghold and powerful deliverer stand. Never one can stop me from carrying out the magnificent plans that have been predetermined for me since the beginning of time, even in my weakness. His wisdom and strength emerge in me like a powerful warrior when I'm in need. Fight what enemy can oppose this could be able to stop it with what forces or plans. The approach of God's invincible army, troops armed with unbreakable weapons and destructive speech doggedly, despite every stubborn roadblock in their path, hear me, darling child, was present. Never have I betrayed trust in you or withdrawn a vow on a whim of mine that is eternal. Character unwavering I made a long ago vow to my holiness that I cannot unmake. Thus accept on this day all the spiritual blessings that are contained in my unfulfilled promises. Placed aside as a bright and shining first dawn's inheritance for the future. After a long night of sobbing grief and the brutal beating of hardship, light kisses the eastern sky, revealing pristine where dark shadows formerly brooded, now radiant, pure joy floods in. Your journey from the desolation of the wilderness is illuminated by sunshine. The Garden of Paradise where I interact and socialize next to tranquil waters know my darling child is more of an orphan stranger, yet my spirit has regenerated him into an eternal connection as my beloved son, whom I bestow all of my blessings. Then celebrate the changing of the seasons since there are endless storehouses. If physical health escapes your grasp, of provision await your inquiry. Unlimited healing will reappear like eagle's wings, and I will send small ones if your nest is still childless. To fulfill the desire engraved deeply inside you and to fill your home with joyful laughter, I will grant your spirit the desires of your heart and release every weight that threatens to subdue you with my unending power, presents the broken dreams and thwarted ambitions. I will give them new life and turn over the broken relationships. I will make amends, bring the separated parties back together, and bring them back into belonging. But I do declare that on this day, my elegance and strength are poised at the when you're tired and ready, all you have to do is believe, and it will be done for you. This is enough to move my faith, which is as small as a mustard seed. A hand on your behalf because true faith grants entry to the seat of grace. Where I take great pleasure in bestowing many blessings without withholding nothing positive, you'll soon understand what was previously unclear as the broken pieces of life stormed the shipwrecked arrived on these shores completely hopeless until they glimpsed the first light of morning announcing my presence for you, my child. I am entering into a quick and drastic change. Gold purified by fire will emerge from the dust. Trials all to fit you more precisely into my magnificent vision when you first saw it softly through a dimly lit mirror, but quickly face to face while seated at my feast period of abundant wealth. The time set aside for childbirth since ancient times has unexpectedly arrived, and my brokenness and barrenness are now being replaced. Arrive on your scene to repair the damaged areas and grant you the heart's aspirations. A happy ending awaits your story. So, in triumph and delight, direct your unwaveringly sure gaze onto the clouds assembling atop the horizon will soon open up to reveal all of my long-awaited blessings and promises set aside just for you from the beginning of time, so look up. From its slouched stance, my worn-out child crushed under the weight of hardship's attack, allowing your eyes to rise above the whirling storm clouds and your neck to recoup power. Feet higher and higher climb into the turbulence-free, serene blue heavens can either bring you calm or disturb it because your sanctuary, beneath the cover of the raging tempest, is above it. My wings discover your soul healed and every open wound lovingly cared for. As you restore perspective, the obstacles will appear to be towering smaller over you till disappearing completely and being replaced by breathtaking views that unfold to your restored vision, for you will soar on the invisible currents like my eagle. I give spiritual wings to all earthbound beings below so they might soar over the danger zone. When fierce and uncompromising, you may obtain heaven's outlook from this elevated vantage point. Enemies attempt to breach your gates and swarm around defensive walls immediately. I will send reinforcements. My angels standing guard will race to the battle and protect you through the days of darkness and peril till finally, your borders are at peace again, and happiness arrives with the rising sun. Hear and accept the promises I make, for your life today will materialize very soon after much delayed justice, and rewards will materialize unexpectedly. Each adversary will emerge from the shadows where they have been hiding, appearing as salient an enemy hauled out into the searing light of my holiness, revealing every cunning plan and secret agenda in the shadows, believing that their evil deeds prevented my eyes from seeing them. But now that the day of the time has come for me to accept that my dear child will no longer face injustice and contempt, I now rise up with ferocious vengeance from such undeserving vessels to destroy castles of deceit constructed on sinking sand and to totally break those brave jars that dare to be salted and cut without reason. My beloved kid, today marks the beginning of a new era. Previously, onlookers were filled with disdain as they saw you stumble moving forward. Shall see your rising changed into my image. The despised now revered, the impoverished heaped with more abundance than they could hold. These proclamations have the full weight and power of my everlasting throne and word. Heaven and earth will end before my assurances to you become null and invalid. Bearing fruit, kid. You've made it through the dark, and now your day is dawning. The time of darkness passes before the dawn arrives, and the place where you were blind now stands light. Magnificence, your soul surrounded on all sides by my pleasure and comfort, always with my pleasures all about me, I have pledged to live deep in my heart forever. Supplying power within you when yours runs out, my living word infused within for every conflict and adversity, your ideas provide tactics and heavenly insight, and my everlasting resources flow out upon you copiously. When fatigue quenches your inner flame and makes it seem like it might go out, I immediately add fresh oil to your flame of devotion to make it even more intense. Brighter as nothing makes me happier than to receive your worship and adoration. I deeply treasure these gifts from you that are respectfully placed at my feet. Since you've faced difficulties on this and here is where my spirit delights in breathing in the pleasant smell. Lengthy trip, but you never lost interest in me or turned your back on me. Fully, you consistently returned and acknowledged your errors without taking any "I apologize," but your candor pulled you back into my warm embrace. Kindness and forgiveness have brought us back together, so stop believing that you're beyond repair or useless. I'm always willing to assist you in getting well again. Reach out to me, and I will heal your wounds, set you free, and give you a new beginning. Once more, allow me to lead you down the wonderful path that lies beyond the difficulties you encounter. Locations that revitalized you and prepared you for the future. My plan was set in motion for you. I started working on it a long time ago, and everything you've seen thus far is just the beginning. The beginning, and now we're entering a phase where everything comes together remarkably fast after witnessing the gradual development, but before long, the last bits will fall into place, turning everything into bread as quickly as wheat. I often work in the manner of a seed becoming a tree, a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. Reserving the finest for last and astonish you unexpectedly with what appeared commonplace, something spectacular will emerge from emptiness, a wealthy and abundant you will experience a significant transformation that will completely transform your life, my darling. The outdated and usher in a fresh, energetic life. The shift is already apparent. Prepare for the last part of this, since it feels like the start of labor before a birth. Please continue to hold on to me since my desired outcome is almost here. You are unstoppable, so get ready for an unexpected, extremely powerful breakthrough. Glory, everything is going to work out perfectly as your destiny comes to pass. Blessings of alignment that have been waiting for you will overflow, dismantling obstacles and bringing heaven into alignment. An earth justice for past transgressions, relief from adversity, and restoration of what was lost is all about to happen, and I'll demonstrate my power in ways that are beyond comprehension. Anyone who doubts can see that by seeing me at work. Marvels for my darling child, bringing life where it didn't before exist. Prepare for something truly incredible as deserts transition into rivers and darkness into brightness. It's difficult to understand, my darling. You've carried a lot of weight on your shoulders, get heavier every day, and your troubles seem never-ending. Expanding, but I noticed that all of my attention is now gently focused on you in this silent moment between us. Let go of your worries and let myself fill you. Tranquility, your tiredness, despair, and sadness, bring them to me without delay. Completely release your burdens and find solace in my company. Since I am my power will uphold you, rock in salvation and ever-present assistance in times of need. You when yours falters and questions surface, cling to me, and I will light the way ahead even when there are shadows around me. I am aware of the hidden anxieties that speak lies to quiet them when they're feeling weak and unsure.